Hey guys, what's up? Does the price of a new gauge cluster have you seeing red? Ah! Well then stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to make your old one look brand new again. Alright guys, so I'm going to be retaining the stock look of these gauges. I just want to help out with the brightness of the gauges because these old gauges aren't very bright. So we'll be changing the 194s out to some 194 LEDs. I already have all the hardware out of the cluster. I bagged that up. You'll need some tape off the areas you don't want sprayed. And we're going to be painting the inside of this with a chrome color so it will reflect the light a little easier and make these gauges a little easier to see at night. Then we're going to be taking this lens here and taking some rubbing compound to that to bring the shine back on that. Okay, after you have all your screws out of this, you got to be really careful separating all this stuff because it's pretty delicate. Whenever you have all your screws out of your gauges, they just pull out. There's metal prongs in the back of the gauges holding them in. That's all that holds those in. So take and set them aside. Be very careful not to touch the needles because the needles break pretty easy too. Alright, so now that I have everything painted, I cleaned up the contacts. Everything's pretty dry for the most part. The next thing I'm going to do is, if you remember I said about putting LEDs in it. What you want to do there is, since an incandescent bulb, it doesn't really matter which way you put it in. LEDs aren't like that. LEDs, you have to have the polarity right or they won't light. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this out to the Suburban and plug each one of these LEDs in and make sure I have the right polarity before I go reassemble the gauge cluster. Alright guys, now I'm going to check the polarity on these LEDs and make sure they're all in right. So this one's good. All these are good. That'd be a high beam switch. So that one needs flipped. So if they don't come on right away, pull them out and flip them around. If they come on, then you know your polarity is right. If they don't come on, and chances are you just have a bad LED. Alright, all the LEDs are in. You can see how much more that chrome paint reflects the light. So once the gauges are in there, they'll be a lot easier to see at night. Alright, now I'm ready to start reassembly. One of the things I did while I had these out was I didn't have the optional clock in mine. So I took and I drilled that out and placed a tack in there. So I'm going to dry fit everything and make sure everything fits decent. And then I'm going to go around and seal like any holes or anything up. That way the gauge cluster doesn't get dust and stuff in it.
Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ah!